In 334 BC, a 20-year-old king crossed from Europe into Asia with a small army and an impossible goal: to destroy the greatest empire on earth. Within 10 years, the Persian Empire would cease to exist. This is the story of Alexander the Great. Ancient Greece was brilliant, creative, and deeply divided. Athens was a naval power where democracy, art, and philosophy flourished. Sparta was a harsh military society built entirely for war. Together, they had once defeated the Persian Empire. But decades of war between Greek city-states left Greece exhausted and fractured. To the north stood Macedonia. For centuries, Greeks dismissed it as backward and barely civilized. That changed under King Philip II. Philip rebuilt Macedonia into a military powerhouse. His greatest innovation was the sarissa, an 18-foot spear wielded in dense formations known as the phalanx. At the Battle of Chaeronea in 338 BC, Philip crushed the armies of Athens and Thebes. Greece was united under Macedonian leadership. Philip planned a great invasion of Persia. He never lived to launch it. He was assassinated by his own bodyguard. His son, Alexander, became king at just 20 years old. Many doubted him. He answered with violence. Rivals were executed. Rebellions were crushed. When the city of Thebes rebelled, Alexander destroyed it completely. Its people were sold into slavery. The message was clear: obey or be erased. In the spring of 334 BC, Alexander led his army across the Hellespont into Asia Minor. This was not a raid. It was the beginning of a war that would reshape the world. Alexander commanded around 40,000 men. At the center stood the Macedonian phalanx, 16 ranks deep, a moving wall of iron spear points. Elite hypacists guarded its flanks. Greek hoplites formed a second line. Skirmishers harassed the enemy from a distance. And then there was the companion cavalry, elite horsemen led personally by Alexander himself. This army did not wait for perfect conditions. It attacked. The Persian governors of Asia Minor chose to confront Alexander at the river Granicus. They held the far bank. They had superior numbers. Alexander attacked immediately. He led the charge through the river under a storm of arrows and javelins. In the chaos of close combat, Alexander was nearly killed. He survived only because a companion struck down his attacker at the last moment. Once the Macedonian phalanx crossed, the Persian cavalry broke. The first great battle was over. Persia had been wounded. In 333 BC, Alexander faced the Persian king himself, Darius III. They met at Issus. Darius outnumbered Alexander nearly 2-1, but the battlefield was narrow, trapped between mountains and sea. Alexander struck first. The fighting was brutal. The Macedonian center faltered. Alexander saw the danger. He charged straight toward Darius. The Persian king lost his nerve. Darius fled the battlefield. The Persian Empire collapsed behind him. Alexander had defeated the great king of Persia. Rather than chase Darius, Alexander turned south. Persia still ruled the sea. Its naval bases threatened his supply lines. Alexander destroyed them one by one. Most cities surrendered. Tyre did not. For 7 months, Alexander built a causeway across the sea. When Tyre finally fell, the city was destroyed. Egypt surrendered without a fight. Alexander was crowned pharaoh. At the mouth of the Nile, he founded a new city, Alexandria. In 331 BC, Alexander gathered a final army and chose open ground at Gaugamela. This was his last chance. The Persian army was vast: chariots, cavalry, troops from across the empire.
Alexander's army was smaller, but it was faster. Alexander drew the Persians out of position, then struck their weakened center with devastating force. Once again, Darius fled. This time, the Persian Empire collapsed. Babylon opened its gates. Susa surrendered. At Persepolis, Alexander ordered the city burned, retribution for the destruction of Greece decades earlier. Darius fled east, hoping to rebuild. He was betrayed by his own men, murdered by a rival seeking power. Alexander ordered him buried with royal honors. The conqueror now ruled alone. But Alexander did not stop. He marched deeper into Central Asia. Revolts erupted. The fighting became relentless. His soldiers grew exhausted. Alexander changed. He adopted Persian dress, Persian customs, Persian court rituals. Paranoia followed. Plots were uncovered. Executions followed. In a drunken rage, Alexander killed Clitus, the man who had once saved his life. The line between king and tyrant blurred. Alexander had conquered the known world, but he could not conquer himself. His empire would not survive him, yet his name would echo through history. Alexander the Great.